Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Very warm welcome to all of you. So this is the order management session. It is 5:30 p.m. India time, so we will begin right at the scheduled time. So just to give you some preliminary details before we actually move on to the subject matter, is the training is a weekend training, Saturday and Sunday. India time is 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So that is 5:30 in the evening to 7:30 in the evening. 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. Contents list and the detailed schedule timing as well as the trainer's profile. Everything is posted on the website. So Raj will be the trainer for all of these sessions. So he will take over in just a minute. And these sessions are being recorded and you will get the recording access also. As and when the sessions are completed within say 24 to 48 hours, all the recordings are uploaded on the website and those can be streamed. Additionally, with the training, instance access will also be provided. So without any further delay, I hope you all enjoy the training. And Raj, I will hand over to you. You can begin with the training.
Sure, Tanmay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, good morning, good evening, everyone, depending on the location you are from. So, let me give a brief introduction about myself. So, I'm Raj. I have 7+ years of experience in implementing supply chain modules such as order management, procurement, inventory, cost management, and maintenance modules. And I've been part of all phases of a project. Right from requirement gathering till post go live support. And yeah, so the my core skill is order management and procurement. So I would also like each one of you to give a brief introduction about yourself, so that I can understand your background, if you have worked on EBS, how many years you have worked in Fusion, and from where you're joining. If we can start that. So let me start with uh, Ajay. Ajay, you want to go first?
Hi Raj, myself is Ajay Padil. I'm into Oracle Financials from last almost 13 years, and actually I'm new to Fusion and even to order management. So actually, I wanted to get into this order management actually, so that is why I've taken this training.
Okay, great. And you're joining from India, right?
Yes, I'm from India.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ajay. Uh, Uday Shankar.
Hey, good evening. So this is Uday, and I have around 20 years of experience in IT, and could be around 10 years in Oracle EBS. But I haven't done any functional setups much. Maybe a few things in AP. But otherwise, I want to learn more on the Fusion as well.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Uday. Then Edmund, you want to go next?
Hello. Good evening, everybody. My name is Edmund. I'm into Oracle EBS now for the past 17 years, and I take care of supply chain and financials. And I'm new to Oracle Fusion. I want to upgrade my skills. That's the reason I joined in.
Okay, thank you, Edmund. Then Hemant, you want to go next?
Hi, I have about 20 years of experience on Oracle EBS as a project manager. I've attended few classes on Oracle Fusion PPM from the same OEG. So I want to learn various functions of order management Fusion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then Nivant.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, my name is Nivant Seth. I'm logging from US, New York. I've been working on Oracle applications since last 17 years, Fusion 5 years, and the rest is EBS. So financials. So now the uh, the whole Fusion has been created in such a way that you have to learn um, accessories, I would say, like order management for order to cash process. So, and supply chain also a little bit. So that's why I have logged in.
Sure, Nevant. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Then Gerardo, you want to go next?
Good morning, everyone. Joining you from McAllen, Texas. I'm like Nevant, where mostly it's been Oracle Finance Cloud, but you have to know a little bit, of other areas because they all relate eventually.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Then Ranjiv, you want to introduce yourself? Ranjiv, think you're on mute. Okay, till then, Ravi, you want to go next?
Hi, yeah, I'm in Oracle applications for like past 18 years or so. Yeah, I have some knowledge of Oracle Fusion, like implementing demand management. But yeah, that's where I want to gain knowledge of the supply chain module or order management as well.
Okay, thank you. Then Sheikh Basha. Sheikh Basha, you're on mute. Okay. Then Shrita. Okay. Then Jemri, you want to introduce yourself?
I just join in. What should yeah, what
Yeah,
should
if you can,
I
yeah, just tell us about your background, if you have worked in EBS or Fusion, and the purpose of joining and for the training, like in a sentence or two.
I have worked on an EBS supply chain and financial modules for Fusion Oracle HCM. But I want to learn more on because supply chain has many modules, specifically inventory, order management, and procurement. But I want to learn more on drop shipping.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then if I have missed anyone, you can step up and introduce yourself. Think I've covered everyone.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Srini Marada. I've been in PeopleSoft domain for the last 20 years and have a passion to switch over to the cloud. And recently I enrolled in your training program and I completed that recorded session of procurement. And a couple of weeks back, I took the certification, got certified. And I'm trying to get into order management, which I've done 10 years back in PeopleSoft. So I want to see how it's going to be in cloud.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, then. Okay, so let me quickly introduce the course and let me share my screen and take you through the course quickly. Yeah. So let me know if my screen is visible, Tanmay.
Yes, it is visible for me.
Okay, great. Okay, so in this session, I'm going to take you from the very building blocks of Fusion, explain you the entire structure of how you can navigate into Fusion, how you can create a user, give him the data access. Then I will explain you the entire O2C cycle, the entire foundation of it. Then I will take you through the prerequisite inventory and item setups, which is like a prerequisite before creating anything in order management. Then I will be taking you through all the order management setups. Then I would take you through the transformation rules. And then there is an inventory management module also involved, which is useful in picking and shipping the orders to the customer. Then there's a very famous global order promising setup through which the system gathers all the information of the warehouse, schedule ship date, schedule arrival date. Then I will take you through all the pricing setups of how any item is priced in a order management module. And then I will also show you all the transactions, all the advanced fulfillment techniques as well, along with the standard order. I will also show you the back-to-back order, drop ship, and return orders. So this is a high-level overview of the course. And so yeah, even if you're experienced or you're joining in for the very first time, you're logging into Fusion, this course is apt for everyone because I will be, explaining from the very scratch. So let me begin the course. So the very first thing is, majority if you are from EBS or PeopleSoft or anything. So the very first thing is to know the basic navigation of Fusion, of how would you log in, the overview of Fusion, offerings, opt-in features, how will you configure anything, how would you create an implementation project. So these are the very basic building blocks of Fusion. So I will begin the course from here. So let me log in let me straight away take you to the course. So this is how a Fusion login screen looks like. And you enter your user ID and password. So I have my user, scmu.user50. So let me log in again. So during the training, let me know if my voice is feeble or if you're unable to hear me, so that I can adjust my mic accordingly. So I have clicked on the home screen. Let me show you how the home screen looks like. Yeah, so this is the home screen of Fusion. And on the top, you see good afternoon, the username, the person who has logged in. And then in the Springboard, you can see different modules, right? There's order management as well. There's contract management, risk management, supply chain execution. So all this depends upon the rows, the data access, and the licenses your company has purchased. As per that, these would be visible to you. And then on the top, you see there's a home icon, which I've clicked, which will take you to this Fusion navigation page. Then there is a star icon, right? So if you click on this, this is basically like your bookmark on any website, right? If you go to favorites, you can add any page as your favorite, just like a bookmark on any web browser. And then if you go to recent items, it will show you all the 15 or to 20 list of items where you have gone recently. So this is a very basic thing, what Fusion has accommodated, just like any web browser. And then you have something known as watch list. So this is like if anything requires your attention, or if there is a warning or error pertaining which requires your action, you can see it over here in the watch list. And then there is something known as notification icon, or we call it a bell icon. So if you have any notification, right? If you need to approve any orders, or if you have submitted any order and action has been taken or errored out, you see everything over here. So this is a very important icon. You call it a bell icon or a notification icon. Then on the right-hand side, you have your username, SU, the same user, the initials of both the surname and the first name. And when you click on this, you have several options. So, every 3 months, Oracle upgrades the version of Fusion. So right now it is currently under 24C. So if you click on about this application, you can see this is in 24C version. So in every quarter, Oracle releases new features across all the modules, and you can configure the new features and then implement it as per the business needs. So under this, you can go to setup and maintenance. You call it functional setup manager. And as soon as you go under functional setup manager or setup and maintenance, on the left hand side, top hand side, you see order management. So if you click on the drop down, you can see all the modules for which you have license to: procurement, order management, financials. So these are the modules which you have opted for. And under each module, you have a functional area. So let me go to a functional area known as orders. And under each functional area, you have a list of tasks. So you have to go to show and show all tasks instead of required tasks, so that you can see more comprehensive list of tasks. So these are the list of tasks which you need to configure. So this is a place from wherein all the consultants configure for the applications and for the transactions to work. this is a place. So you have a module offering. Under each offering, you have a functional area, and under each functional area, you have a list of tasks which you need to configure. Then, if you need to opt in for any new feature or enable any offering, you have to go to this button known as Actions, and you have to go to this option, Go to Offerings. So click on that. So when you go to Offerings, you again get all the module names, right? So under each module or under each offering, there are opt-in features. So let me go to order management itself and click on opt-in features. Yeah. So as you can see on my screen, the order management module needs to be enabled. If you are working on any module, that needs to be enabled from here. So this is a compulsory setup. So order management is already enabled so that we can, create setups and do transactions in that module. And then there is a pricing module. This also is enabled. Then there is global order promising module. This is also enabled. So in order to use anything, right, you need to first enable them. This is a foremost step. And then under each module, you have this pencil icon known as features. So this is a place wherein Oracle introduces new features every quarter. So if you click on this pencil icon, so I have clicked on that, and you can see there are various list of new features, right? And under each new feature, there is an enable option. Like suppose there is an order hold. So do you need to have the holds in your order? Do you want to have the dropship facility? So do you want to have transformation rules? So everything depends upon if you enable it or not. And if you want to know the details of each feature, you can just go to Google in detail. You can type in Oracle release notes, suppose order management, right? Oracle release notes, order management. And you can just click on the first option itself. And for each release, like suppose now 24C is going on. So click over there. And then go to order management. So for each release, order releases a release note in which all the setups you need to enable them and all the screenshots, everything is mentioned. How would you enable them, how it will work, which is the feature which you need to enable. So you just need to type in Oracle release notes and the name of that module, and you will get a comprehensive list of setups and the enablement steps which you need to do, and all the screenshots as well. So this would be available for each of the features. So any doubts till now? Anyone?
Yeah, I have one quick question. So when you showed the offerings on the right-hand side, the tasks were displayed. Do you think they will display based on the sequence of steps you need to enable, or they would be random?
It is random. It is not a sequence of steps over here. So the sequence of steps would be in setup and maintenance, functional setup manager. Over here, it is random. It depends upon your client needs.
Not this
So
one. Before this, you were showing the tasks when you
This-
said, yeah. Before this, I think even before this, you were showing the task on the right side.
Okay, these.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are in the sequence order, in the sequential order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Oracle has designed it in such a way that each functional area and each task is in a sequential order.
That is
so you're
correct.
correct. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Any
And
other question?
can we rearrange as well based on our business? Like if client doesn't need one of the tasks, can we rearrange these, or these are standard tasks?
No, these are standard. You cannot rearrange, but yeah, you can skip any of the above and configure as per your business needs. Like you need not configure everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So it is a very rare scenario wherein any business uses all the features of Oracle.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So now Yeah, let me. So this is the basic navigation and the menu items, and then the offerings overview of Oracle Fusion. How would you log in Oracle Fusion? Now let me show you how will you create an implementation project. So you have to go to actions, and you have to go to, or you can go from here as well. You have to go to tasks, and you can see this, right? Manage implementation projects. So click over here. So there are various implementation project names given here. So many companies, they either create implementation projects are created very rarely. Like you do not track the progress from here. You can just go to FSM, which is Function Setup Manager, and you can configure from here because this is in a sequential order. But suppose if there is a large company, right, and you have many employees, many people who are in IT, and you want to allocate different tasks to different people, then you make use of this feature known as Manage Implementation Projects. So just click over there, and let me create a new project from the very beginning. Click on plus, which is create. So I will show you how this works, right? So suppose the name is coming as Implementation Project 7. So let me change the name. Let me name it as, suppose, AS underscore implementation underscore project. And let me copy the same as the code also. Okay, this has to be in caps lock. So just let me name it as AS implementation project. Can you mute?
Hey, I'll just put everyone on mute. If anybody has a question, feel free to unmute yourself.
Okay, so I'm naming it as AS implementation project. The status is not started, and I'm assigning it to myself, SCM user, the entire project management. And the start date is the sys date, which is today's date. And I will click on next. So let's give it some time to load. Yeah. So now you can see the list of all the modules, right? So now you can assign this implementation project and the different modules to different people. Now, suppose if I want to select order management as one of my modules in the implementation project, then let me also select pricing as well because I have it in my scope. Then let me select financials as well.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. So now I have selected financials and order management as my scope modules. Let me click on save and open project. Now it will open a new page from wherein you can assign this different tasks or different module implementation to different people in your organization, and you can track the progress. So it takes some time to load because it will load all the tasks pertaining to that particular module.
Just a quick question before it loads. So Raj, whenever applicable, can you please mention how it's different in EBS for the people like me who doesn't know the Fusion?
Yeah, sure. I will mention that.
Yeah, thanks.
So this entire thing you're seeing as of now, this is not there in EBS, right? This is a entire new architecture.
Good. Yeah. In that case, can you also mention wherever it is mandatory to do it? For example, this is compulsory to start the setups, or is it just the one of the ways or best ways to do it?
This is just one of the ways. So as I mentioned, many companies do not, create implementation project. They just go to a setup and maintenance screen, and they start configuring it from there. Right.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Like what we do in EBS.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So let me move forward. So as you can see, these two modules have come in over here, and I can select any one of the modules. And if you go to the drop down, you have these many modules as well. So you can select the different sub modules, or you can select order management as a whole, and you can go to assign tasks. And then under assigned users, you can click on plus. And then you can search in your username. So my username is suppose SCM user 50. So I'm just showing you how to assign it. So I have selected my name and I'll click on apply and done. Yeah, and I will click on save and let me also mention the due date. So due date is by when we are expecting this user to complete the entire setups of order management. So let me give the due date as the end of the month, 31st. Click on save and close. And then you can also click on edit on the top, and you can manually change the status of this entire implementation project that you have created. You can make it to in progress for now, and click on save and close. So you can see the status now is in progress, and you have assigned this order management to one of the people. So in a similar fashion.
Excuse me, I have a question. What if you don't finish by the due date that you mentioned there? What will happen?
No, so nothing will happen. You manually have to track this.
Okay.
So yeah, Oracle does not send any notification, or there's no action given by Oracle. This is just a preliminary setup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you don't finish by that date. It doesn't block anything for you.
No, it does not. It does not stop or prevent any action.
Okay.
It is just for the project manager's perspective, right? And you can also change the due date. If you feel that a particular resource is not able to complete all the setups, then you can again go to edit status and change the due date as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and if you want, you can also add in more modules. So this is just a preliminary or basic setup, not of very much importance, but yeah, it is useful in the large organizations. So you click on done. And you can also change the status of this. Suppose you learn from a resource that he is making good progress and they started working on it. You can click on edit status and you can make it in progress. Save and close. Yeah, so this is now in progress. You can click on done and come out of that. And you can see your project name is over here and it is in progress. Click on done. Yeah, so many people prefer like 90% of the time, you configure it from here itself. You do not make use of implementation project. And even if you make use of implementation project, it will redirect you to functional setup manager itself, right? So this is the only place from wherein you can do the setups in Oracle Fusion. So that implementation project is just for the project manager perspective, to keep a track or to keep a sheet of all the tasks and all that and whom it is assigned. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So this is a very basic navigation of Fusion for the people who aren't familiar with how to log into Fusion. What are the different modules? How to navigate to functional setup manager screen. So yeah, so logging into Fusion, overview of Oracle Fusion, configuring offerings and enabling opt-in features, basic navigation, functional setup manager, or creating implementation project. So these are the very basic building blocks of Fusion. Okay. So now let me move on to the next topic, which is user roles and data access. So in Fusion, to access any module, right, you need to have a user and you need to assign him a role. And with that role, you also need to assign him a data access, right? So that is the basic building blocks of how Fusion works. So with that said, there are two kinds of users. There's a business user and there is an implementation user. So if you want to create any transactions in Oracle Fusion, right, like a sales order or a purchase order or a work order, you need to create a new business user. And if you need to do any setups, like the one I showed you, right, all these tasks, if you need them to be configured by a person, you need to create that user as an implementation user. And then you need to assign both the users their respective roles. And with that role, So role determines what you can access. And data access is basically what data can you access. So I will be showing all these now, and it will be more clear, but I'm just giving a high level overview. And then there's manage procurement agent. So this will also come into picture wherein you need to make some people up as a procurement agent for him to be able to do some transactions. And then there are a few scheduled processes which you need to run to make sure these are in sync with Oracle Fusion, with your transactions. So let me just take you to one more place. And so on the left top hand side, you see this navigator, right? Just click over here. And it will also show you all the modules like which were visible in the home screen. Let me go to the home screen again. Yeah. Let's suppose in procurement, you see these modules, right? So if you go on the navigator and if you go to procurement, you can see the same number of modules. So this is one more way to access the different modules we have in Oracle Fusion. So if you come down and if you go to tools, there is this place known as Security Console. So click on that. So let me explain you a bit about Security Console. Yeah. So if you go to users, let me type in my username. Yeah. So from Security Console, you can make an implementation user, not a business user. You can make an implementation user. You can reset the password of any user by going to actions and reset password. You can lock account. You can assign all the roles to any user through Security Console. So let me show it to you. Then I will create a user and assign him all the roles. So when I clicked on that user, you can see his last name, first name, username, email, everything is coming up. The business unit he is associated with, he is active. And then if you come down, you can see all the roles which are assigned to him. All the roles which are assigned to him is displayed over here. So this is how Security Console is helpful to create implementation user and to assign him the roles. But so this is useful only when you want to create an implementation user, then you can create a user from here, add user account. But if you want to create a business user, then you have to go to setup and maintenance. And for under each offering, you have this user and security functional area. And if you go to Alt, yeah, this one, manage users. So this is a task to create any business user. So again, let me make it very clear. Let me open my Excel. So again, there are two kinds of users in Oracle Fusion. A business user who can create transactions and an implementation user who can only configure the setups. So the implementation user is created from Security Console and the business user is created from the manage user screen in the functional setup manager or setup and maintenance. So I have come to manage user screen. Let me show you that again. Yeah, this manage users. Let me click on that and click on plus to create a new user. So now I will be creating a new business user. I will assign him all the roles and data access, and then I will log in as that user to make sure he has all the data access to create transactions in order management. So this is again a very basic thing. So this is a very primary thing which you need to do before you implement anything, right? So let me, yeah. So I will be creating a user known as Adam Henry. So the last name would be Henry. The first name would be Adam. The email ID would be, let me see. Yeah, this is the email ID. adamhenry966@gmail.com. Hire date is defaulted to 68. You can change that. Like suppose if a person is hired before and you're entering in the system now, you can change that to, you can backdate it. Then the username, what username would you like to give him? So let us give him Adam.Henry only. Send username and password. So the username and password would be sent to him to this email ID. Then person type. If you come on the drop down, so this person can be a contingent worker, employee, partner, he would be on leave of absence, anything. So let us make him an employee. And then the legal employer, or basically the legal entity. So I will give him the legal entity as US1 legal entity and the business unit. So in EBS, you call this field known as operating unit in EBS. In Fusion, you call it business unit. So let us give him the business unit as US1 business unit. Just type US1, press tab, and the corresponding options would appear. Click on OK. Yeah, and then other things are okay. If you want to assign him any manager, if you want to associate this person with any location or department, or any job role, you can give him over here. But I think we are good with bare minimum setups, and we will now assign him the roles. Adam Henry, let's double check if everything is entered appropriately. Yes. So now I will click on save and close, and it will take a minute and this user would be created. So this is again a business user, I'm reiterating. And with this user, we will be able to do all the transactions. So in the meantime, if I go to my sheet, let me go to rows and data access sheet. So I have created a new business user. Now, what is the next step? To assign him all the appropriate roles and then the data access. So I will explain you about each and every role you see on my screen in this table of how this is useful and why do we need to assign him this particular role. So let me go to my screen. This is still loading. Let it give some time. So any questions till now? Okay. Yeah. So now the user is created. Click on done. And to verify if the user is created or not, let me go to Security Console again from the same navigation which I showed you. We have to go to Tools, Security Console. Go to Users and query for user. So what is the username? Adam.Henry. Yes, this user has appeared. His email ID, status is active, username, everything is as per the one we had configured. And also, let me see if I have received the email or not. So I should have received a mail to reset the password, right? Because I have given this email ID. So let me just open one of the email account. Adam Henry, go to Gmail. Yes. You can see I have received this Vision welcome email. Your Oracle Fusion application has been successfully created. And to reset your password, you can click on this link. So let me click on this link and reset his password. So this is the reason you need to give a valid email account so that you can reset his password. So I'm just giving a password. I'll click on submit. So this is to reset his password. Now I'll click on cross. 1 second. Just 1 second. Yeah, now let me share my screen again. Yeah. So you can either reset his password from the email you get, or you can go to the drop down and click on reset password. So there are two ways. Now, since this user is created, I will click on this user. And then I will click on edit. And then from this option add role, I will give him all the required roles. So this is a place from wherein you assign roles to a user. So if I go to my sheet, I have created the business user. I will also create implementation user and show it to you later. So first is I have created a business user, and now I need to assign him the appropriate roles. So let me take you to my table. So these are all the roles which you need to assign for order management. So let me explain you these one by one. But before that, if you have anyone has any questions. I hope I'm audible, right? Or anyone can confirm?
Yes, you are
Yeah,
audible.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah.
If there is sorry, yeah, I have a question. If there's a way that we could query backend the username if ever it password or has forgotten.
Oh, can you repeat your question? Sorry.
Sorry, I mean, is there's a way that we could query backend the user, or we could reset the password if
Yeah.
ever it, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So whenever you feel that the user has forgotten his password or the password has expired, you can always come to Security Console, go to users, query in the username, and go under actions, click on the drop down and click on reset password, and then manually change the password. Click over here, and then you can type in the new password. So the IT
Because
administrators can do this. Yeah.
because on EBS we have a backend SQL developer, we could check the users there, but is there a way also in backend?
No, so this is in the UI itself. Unlike in EBS, you can do it in the UI only. You do not have to, yeah. UI means user interface. You can do it in Fusion application only. So every organization will have a IT personnel or a IT administrator who will take care of all these. Who will take care of all the role assignment, all the resetting of the password. The administrator, security person will take care of all these, right? But when you go for an implementation, right, for any project, for any client, initially we have to make sure we do it. We have to create a user, we have to assign him all the rows, and then we have to create transactions with that user to make sure it is working fine. Then only we can be sure that our solution is working and we can go ahead with the implementation.
All right, and lastly, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, hello, Raj. I think one thing that you might need to let Jeremy understand is it's not everyone that will have access to this place. So it's not that any user can just come here and be able to change their password as they want, because they won't have the access. It's because for what we are doing now that we have the access and we are seeing how the password is being changed. Otherwise, in a normal setting, it is maybe the functional team or the technical team that will have access to this security console. It's not for everyone.
Exactly. So I was coming to this roles and data access of what gives you the access to the security console. So this is a role, IT security manager. So if any employee or any person has this role, IT security manager, he will be able to access the security console. So yeah, I will be explaining all the roles, how, so there's a role required to configure anything as well, right? Which is application implementation consultant. So I will explain each and every role now. So you're right, every person cannot access the security console. Okay. So before I assign him any roles, let me go to my sheet and explain you each and every role. So there is a abstract role known as employee. So this is compulsory if you want any person to be able to create any transactions in Oracle. Then there is a buyer role. So if you want a person to be able to create purchase orders or purchase agreements in Oracle, then you need to give him the buyer role. Then there is a warehouse manager role. So warehouse manager role is used when, so suppose there is a sales order. you have got a sales order from a customer, and then you are reserving the quantity in your warehouse, and then you're picking it up, right? You're picking it up from the sub inventory and sending it to a staging area. From one location to another location, you're transferring your stock or your goods. So that can be done by warehouse manager only. You call it picking in Oracle. Then there is a shipping manager role. So after picking the order from your warehouse, you need to ship it. You need to ship confirm. You need to load your orders into a truck. And in the system also, you need to ship confirm. So that can be done by shipping manager. Then there is inventory manager. So suppose you need to access the inventory work area and you need to create few transactions like miscellaneous receipt, miscellaneous issue. You need to increase the quantity of certain item, or you need to perform any transfer orders. Then that can be done by inventory manager only. Then there is a receiving agent. So suppose you need to receive anything incoming from a customer, like a return order, right? Or in a procurement scenario, if you are taking anything from a supplier. So that can be done only by a person who has this role of receiving agent. Then there is product data steward role. So if you want to create any item in Oracle or manage any item in Oracle, so that can be done only when you have this product data steward role. So I will be assigning all these roles to a user and I will be creating transactions. So it will be much more clear. So I'm just explaining it theoretically before assigning him all the roles, going one by one. Then there is order entry specialist. So order entry specialist means if you want a person to be able to create a sales order line, or update the sales order, or create a return order in Fusion, then you need to assign him the order entry specialist. But if you want to do more things with your sales order, like hold your sales order, then include few constraints or few validation criteria in your sales order, or you need to approve your sales order, then that person needs to have this order manager role. This is an upgraded role. Then there is order administrator role. So suppose you also want your user, to be able to do few setups related to order management, right? Then you need to assign him the order administrator role. Then there is order promising manager. So in Oracle, we have a very nice module under order management known as global order promising. So global order promising, what it does is, like suppose if there is an order for some item. So the global order promising will decipher if there is available quantity for that item, which is the best warehouse to pick that item from, what would be the scheduled arrival date or ship date from your warehouse till it reaches the customer, which is the appropriate warehouse from where you should be shipping it. So all these are done by a module known as global order promising, GOP. So in order to access GOP, you need to assign that user order promising manager role. Then if there is any error in your orchestration process, then you need to be able to recover that, you need to assign a user order orchestration error recovery manager role. So I'm just explaining it theoretically now, and I will be assigning all these roles to this newly created user, which is Adam Henry, and I will be creating all transactions from that user. So this is just a very basic level overview, since this is class 1. Before assigning, it is very important for me to explain you the utility of each role, right? Yeah. So then there is global order promising administrator. So again, if you want to do any setups with the GOP, then you need to assign him this role. Then there are 2 roles related to pricing. So how a pricing is determined for an item whenever you're creating a sales order, there are many factors, right? There is a predetermined price, there is a discount, there are taxes, there is a cost factor, there are freight, there is a shipping cost, there is a packaging cost. So there are so many things, which are involved in the pricing. So the pricing administrator configures all the tasks, and the pricing manager is able to determine the price for that item, is able to change the price of that item. Then there is accounts receivables manager. So, after the order is delivered to the customer, you need to create an invoice, right? And you need to send it to the customer in order to get the payment. So that activity is done by accounts receivables manager. So all these roles are the transaction roles. Then comes these three roles. Application implementation consultant. So this role is needed if you want to do any setups. So we were able to access the setup and maintenance, right? And we were able to see all the tasks. So if you do not have that role, you will not be able to see this setup and maintenance. And you will not be able to configure any tasks. So this is a IT administrator role known as application implementation consultant. Then there is application implementation manager role. So we created an implementation project, right? And we assigned it to one user. So in order to create your implementation project, you need to have this application implementation manager role. And then there is IT security manager role. So this role is basically to access security console. This very screen, you see on my screen, to be able to reset password, to be able to assign any role to a user, you need this IT security manager role. So this is an overview of all the roles that we need. So this table will come in very handy. This is an amalgamation of all the roles we need in order management, along with the 3 security roles as well. So let me just begin assigning him the roles. So what we have done is we have created a new business user, and now we will go ahead and will assign him all the roles that I have explained to you. So any doubts in these roles or any questions anyone has before I move forward?
The security context, when you put not applicable, just explain that, please, if you can.
Yeah, sure. So this is a security context. So for each role, you can see there is a data access, assigning data access. So suppose for warehouse manager, as soon as you assign him a warehouse manager, you need to associate that warehouse manager with the inventory org. Inventory org is nothing but suppose a warehouse or a distribution center, or maybe a manufacturing plant your organization has. So I will come to this. But for IT security manager, there's no security context. So you will have the access as soon as you assign the IT security manager role. So for wherever I have written NA, not applicable, that means you just need to assign him the role. There's no need for you to assign the data access. This step is not required.
Okay.
Only this step is required. And for wherever I have written some entries, this means you need to assign him the data access. So I will come to data access part just after the assigning role. And I will come to the second column of this table as well in just a while.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sure, thank you. Okay, so yeah, let me go to security console. And now let me begin the practical work, right? So go to edit. And you can see there is an option add role. Click over there. Now, first, what is the role? Employee. Just type in employee. Select employee. Yeah, so one more thing, very important thing is when you are doing it practically, always select the role which has a prefix of Ora. Ora means nothing but Oracle. So this is a full-fledged role, right? So always select the roles which has this prefix of Ora. Click on add role membership, and you can see this is assigned. Now go to your second role, which is of bio. So now let me do some practical work. So you can see when you key in bio, there are many options which are coming. So which one would you choose? The one which is Ora, not a copy on Ora. So keep this in mind when you practice it yourself. Click on add role membership. This is added. You can see this is added. And then let me go to the third step, warehouse manager. So after assigning him all the rows and data access, I will log in with this user in Fusion application, and I will create an end-to-end transaction. Everything, right? I will show you the entire O2C cycle with this user. And I will explain the entire orchestration process and demo the entire O2C cycle, right from creating order till the cash cycle, so that you will have a better understanding of what we are getting into. Okay, where was I? Warehouse manager. So let me know if you feel that I need to go slow, or if no, just let me know during the training. This will take some time. Then I will go to shipping manager. I will copy it and I will paste it over here. So choose which one? The one with Aura prefix, not the copy one, the main one. Then go to inventory manager. Then which one's second one? Which one it has Aura? Add role membership. Then receiving agent. So when you practice it in the same sequential manner. You create a business user, then you come to security console, you reset his password and you assign him all the roles which I am assigning him, right? And after that, you assign him the data access, which I will show you. And then you will log in as that user and start creating transactions. Product data steward for item management. Then order entry. So here starts the order management roles. So all these above were the prerequisite roles. Now the order management roles, order entry specialist. So in the meantime, you can also ask me if you have any doubt in any of the rows, while I'm assigning all the rows to this user. Because without assigning these rows, it will not work. You will not be able to create any transactions. So for any implementation, it is mandatory to first create a user, assign him the roles, assign him the data access, and then do the setups. Order administrator, yes, this role is assigned. Then order promising manager. And order orchestration error recovery manager. Aura, okay. Global order promising. So this is the only role which has a prefix of MSP. All the other roles has a prefix of Aura. So this is because this role is exclusive to global order promising. Only if you have taken the license of GOP, this role will appear in the security console. So only this has a prefix of MSP. Just remember, everything else has a prefix of Aura. Pricing administrator. The Aura one. Yes. Pricing manager. Accounts receivable manager. Yeah. So now I have assigned him all the roles from employee till accounts receivable manager. I will not assign him the bottom 3 rows because he is a business user and I do not want him to do any setups or go to security console. I just want him to do all the transactions. So pertaining to that, I have assigned him all the rows from employee till accounts receivable manager. Now just let me check if all the rows are there. You come down and do check employee bio just scroll down and make a check. Let me know if I have forgotten any role. Yeah. Okay, so all the rows are there. Yes. So now you click on save and close after assigning him all the rows. So now I'm done creating a business user and I have assigned them all the roles, appropriate roles. Now I will, before assigning him the data access, or let's assign him the data access as well. Let's go ahead with the third step of assigning him the data. Yeah, this is saved. Now click on done. Yeah. So now we are done with creating a business user, assigning him the role. Now we will assign him the data access, which is the second column you see on my table. So what is data access? Suppose you are a warehouse manager and your organization has many inventory organizations, right? It has 10 inventory organizations. And you obviously do not want one person to manage all the 10 inventory organizations. You want one person to suppose manage inventory organization A, B, and C. So this is a security which Oracle has brought in. And if you assign him only the data access for inventory org A, B, and C, he will be able to create transactions and view transactions only in those 3 inventory organizations. He will not be able to create or view anything for the other inventory organizations, even though he has this role. So this is where the data access comes into the picture. In a similar fashion, business unit goes in a similar way. Suppose if you order entry specialist, you are an order entry specialist in your organization, and your organization expects you only to create your order entries for one business unit. Like suppose US one business unit. Then you need to assign him this role and give him the data access only for that business unit, so that he will not be able to create or view anything for the other business units. So this is a compliance policy or a security, which Oracle has brought in, Oracle Fusion. So let me just take you to this manage data access tasks. I'll show you. So go to setup and maintenance again. So under order management, go to this functional area, users and security. So this is a shared functional area across all modules. The ones which you see are not shared, which, for which it is not written shared, those are exclusive ones. So go to users and security, go to all tasks. And you can see this task, right? Manage data access for users. Click on it. Yeah. So for this, you see 2 options on the top. Users without data access, users with data access. So users without data access, query in your username. What was my username? Adam.Henry. Click on tab. And security context, let it be all, and click on search. So it will basically show you all the role names. And you can see the security context value is empty for all because we have not assigned any data access to it. So to assign any data access, click on plus. Then you need to enter your username. So my username is Adam.Henry. Press a tab. So all the rows which you have assigned to this user will appear in this dropdown. It is coming from the security console. So now let me go one by one. Right? For employee, we do not need any security context. For buyer, there is a different setup of procurement agent, which I will show you after this. So let me begin from warehouse manager. Let me type in warehouse. It will come in. Yes, it comes in. And what is the security context? Inventory organization. Select inventory organization. And under this, if you click on the drop down, there are various inventory organizations which should come in. right? So I will be using inventory organizations known as 002, which is Atlanta. So I will show you this when I create transactions. So this is an inventory organization known as 002. This is an inventory organization code, and the name is Atlanta, which is in US. So I have given the first role. Now you can click on plus, or you can just duplicate this. Click on duplicate. It will ease out for you to enter the username again, right? You will not have to enter it. I'll show you. Yeah, the second row has come in. So what role I need to give him? Shipping manager. Shipping manager. Security context would again be inventory organization, and context value would be 002. Click a tab. Yes. Now again select this, duplicate. Then we have inventory manager and receiving agent. Okay. Now select inventory manager. Security context would be inventory organization again, and value would be 002. Click on tab. Then go there again, click on duplicate. Now the role was receiving agent. Delete it, type RECE, it will come up. Inventory organization, value would be 002. Click a tab. Now we will just save and close it and then create it again, because if any one entry is wrong, it will not save and close. It will give an error. So you need to enter it all over again. So for inventory organizations we have done, click on save and close. Yeah, so now go to users with data access and type in this username to verify if it is successful. And click on search. Yeah, now you can see all the 4 rows, security context, and its corresponding values are appearing here. So our data access assignment was successful for all these 4 roles. Now we will move ahead with other roles.
Hey Raj, quick interruption. I have a quick question.
Sure.
You've been assigning all these roles, right? Just take an example. You've been assigning 10 roles for each business user to be able to do his job. Let's say in an organization, there are 1,000 business users. Do we have to create all this manually, or is there any automated process to assign all these roles?
There is an automated process in HCM. There is a sheet, provisioning sheet, which you can use to assign him all the roles if there are thousands of users.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a way by means of a sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but when you're starting, the implementation project and you want to test out if your particular setup is working or not, then you create a user, and then you assign him all the rows and data access.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then I will click on plus again. So before implementing any module or creating any transactions, these 2 setups are the must. The rows and data access is a must. This is a preliminary setup. So I will begin from product data steward does not need any data access, so I'll leave it as blank. Order entry specialist. Okay. Adam Henry. Order entry specialist. Now, what is the context? Business unit. And I will be using US1 business unit for this demo. US1 business unit. So in EBS, you call them operating units. So business units are the ones which does all the functions for a business, right? Like suppose requisitioning, creating a sales order, procurement, invoicing, payment. All these functions are performed by your business unit or operating units. So this person, Adam Henry, will only have a privilege to enter or to create a sales order only in this business unit, not in any other business unit. So this is how where this data access is useful. Now let me go ahead, copy it and repeat the same procedure. Order manager. Okay. US1, duplicate it. Now the order administrator. Yes, order administrator. So let me so for this, you can see the security context is reference data set. For all the others, it was either inventory organization or business unit. But why is it reference data set for this order administrator? So what is a reference data set? So basically, again, this is a security policy by Oracle Fusion. So you have, like, suppose you do not want the configuration or the transactional data to appear to all the implementation consultants, right? Then you create a reference data set. And within that reference data set, you have only those business units for which you want the people to be able to access to. So there is a reference data set known as common. So first, before entering common, let me show you the other reference data sets. Yeah, so you can see there is a US1 BU set. There is a China BU set. There is a India BU set. So we have a BU business unit set assignment for each business unit. And then all the setup task under that, the transactional task, will not be visible to other people. It will be visible to only those people who have access to that reference data set. So this is again a new security policy which Oracle Fusion has brought in. And only for order administrator, you need to give him the reference data set access. So I will give him the common set access. So common set is, accessible across all the people. This is common. Then for others, you have order promising manager, you have BU only. So when I create all the transactions, right, it will be more clear to you. What was it? Order promising manager. Order promising manager will be BU. Then you duplicate it. It will be business unit again, US1. Then duplicate again. Then global order promising administrator. US1 business unit, duplicate it. Global order promising administrator. Then pricing ones, okay. So we are just reaching the end of it. So quickly, then pricing manager. Wait, business unit. Then account receivables manager is the last one. That is so that you can create an invoice. Just type accounts and it will come in automatically. Business unit and US1. Yeah. So now we have entered all the data access we have given to all the rows that we had assigned. Just double check and click on save and close. Yes, now just query it again. Users with data access, Adam Henry. It should increase the list. Yes, now this should match with the table that we have in the Excel. So now I've given all the rows and all the data access to this user. Yes, I'm just double checking. You also check with me. So this is how you double confirm after assigning the roles, so that when that user logs in, right, he does not complain that, I'm not able to do this transaction, or I'm not able to create an invoice, or I'm not able to change the pricing of an item. So this is a compulsion for him to be able to do all of that. Okay. So this is a combination of all the inventory roles, order management roles, pricing roles, global order promising roles, and shipping role. So all these roles you need in order management in order to do the end-to-end transactions. So now we have given him all the rows. I will click on done. So again, let me reiterate, what did we do? We created one business user. We assigned him all the rows you see on my first column. And we didn't assign him the last 3 rows because these are for administrator, not for a business user. Then we gave him the data access, all the data access pertaining to the security context written in the second column. Now I will go to this setup, manage procurement agent. So this is applicable only for the buyer role. This is for only buyer role. This is a procurement setup. But I will be showing you the back-to-back orders or dropship orders later on in the advanced fulfillment. And then it will come in handy over there. So this is also a very interesting concept of managed procurement agent. Let me quickly take you there and go to the offering known as procurement. So this will come under the procurement offering. So this procurement agent task is common across all these functional areas. You can choose any one of them. It does the same thing. Manage procurement agents. Yeah. So I will explain you what this procurement agent means. Click on plus. And type in the procurement BU name. So what is my BU which I'm going to use? US1 business unit. And whenever you're searching for agent is nothing but an employee. So if you create an implementation user, you will not be able to find that agent over here. That is why you need to create a business user like the one we created, Adam Henry. So you have to search him from the surname first. Henry. It will come. Yeah, this is the one. And requisitioning BU would also be US1 business unit. Now, if I come down, let me explain you what this procurement agent means. So in procurement, this is basically a procurement concept, not an order management concept. But since I will be creating few POs as well, from the fulfillment of order management, I am assigning him the buyer role as well. So every buyer needs a procurement agent access in order to create a purchase order or a purchase agreement. So you can see there are various options over here on the left-hand side: manage requisitions, purchase orders, purchase agreements, negotiations, manage suppliers. So in order to do all of these, you need a buyer role. For negotiations, you need a category manager role. For supplier, you might need a supplier administrator or a supplier manager role. So these are again procurement concept, but you only need to be aware with the buyer role. So once you assign him the buyer role, you need to come here. You need to tick on the manage purchase orders and manage purchase agreements boxes and make sure these are enabled, these two. So let me enable all of it for this user, just like that, so that at a later point of time, if I have a need to browse to any other, then I can come here. Then I can go there. So I have allowed purchase orders and purchase agreements. So these two are the ones which we are going to use at a later point of time. Then there is access to other agents' documents. So what does this mean? So there are 4 options: none, view, modify, full. So if you want this user to be able to view other agents' documents for this business unit, like you will have more people, right, who will be a part of this business unit and who would have been defined as a procurement agent. So if you want this person, Adam Henry, to be able to view other people's document as well, then you can give him the view access. Modify means if you want him to be able to update the purchase orders for other people, for other buyers, then you can give him the modify access. Full means if you want him to be able to close, cancel, freeze, delete, or hold the purchase orders for other buyers within this business unit, then you can give him the full access. So let me give him the full access for now for everything. Again, I'm reiterating our concerning point is only these 2: purchase orders and purchase agreements. Other things are, solely part of procurement module. You need different rows and all that. So I'm just giving him the full access for everything so that he will be able to create a PO under this US1 business unit, and he will be able to manage the purchase orders. Then I will click on save and close. Click on OK. Click on done. So we are again back to the FSM functional setup manager area. So with this, we are done creating a new business user, giving him all the required roles for order management, giving him the data access, and then defining him as a procurement agent. So any questions till now? I will just take a minute pause over here.
It's fine for me.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. So it might be a little boring now, but this is a building blocks for us to go to the third stage, wherein I will be logging in as this user Adam Henry, and I will show you all the modules and all the data that I have got access to after these 2 preliminary steps. And then I will be creating a end-to-end O2C cycle, order to cash cycle. I will be creating a sales order. I will be showing you all the orchestration steps. Then I will be picking it up, shipping it up, invoicing it. So for me to do all of that, this is a compulsory preliminary step. Okay. So now let me go back there. And now let me create a implementation user. So you might have noticed I've done everything except the third one, right? I haven't created an implementation user. So the user I'm using right now is already implementation user. Let me go back to the security console. Go to tools, go back to the security console. Go to users. So how this user scm.user50 is able to see the security console, is able to go to setup and maintenance, because I have these 3 privileges. I have application implementation consultant, manager, and IT security manager role. So now let me create one more user. If anyone speaking, if you can go on mute. Okay. Yeah. So I will click on this add user account. So I will click on add user account. And this is how you will create an implementation user. Now let me give my name only. Raj Verma. The email ID I have is, let me use one of my email IDs. Yeah, this one. Let me use this email ID. Phone number I don't want to give. Username would be raj.verma. Okay, I'm fine with it. Password, let me enter my password. So I am setting up my password. Okay. So I have entered everything. I will click on save and close. So with this, you can see I am creating an implementation user, which is very different from the business user which we created. For business user, where did we go? Anyone can tell me? To create a business user, we went to some place, right? We went to a task to create a business user. What is the task name, if anyone can recall?
Manage users.
Manage users.
Correct, exactly. I'm glad you are following up. Yeah. And to create implementation user, where did we go? Security console, right? Now
Yes.
let me verify if my name is created as a user or not. Raj.Verma. Yes, it is there. So now what do I have to do? I have to go to actions. Password I've already given, so let it be. Now I will click on this. So he is the implementation user. He does not do any transactions in business. He will only do the setup task. He will do the IT security manager task of security console. So now what I have to do, I have to assign him these 3 rows only. If you remember, I hadn't assigned these 3 rows to a previous user because obviously any organization will not want any business user to be able to set up the task, right? So that is the difference, distinguishing factor between a business user and a implementation user. Now this implementation user will not be able to create any tasks or do any transactions. So now let me give him the 3 rows, which I'm showing you. Click on edit, click on add role, and just application implementation consultant or add role membership. This is done. Now application implementation manager, not the ESM one. See, so let me query it again. Aura one, always choose the Aura one. So even I was going to be mistaken, but no, I was able to recall. So those 2 I've given now. IT security manager. This one, yes, add role membership. That's it. All the 3 roles I have given to him. So he will be able to go to setup and maintenance. With this role, he will be able to create an implementation project. And with IT security manager role, he will be able to access this security console. He means me, Raj Verma, right? I will click on save and close. Yes, so this is done. So now I'm done with all the setups of roles and data access. So what will I do is I will log in as both the users now. I will log in as Raj Verma and Adam Henry, right? I will log in as both the users, Adam Henry and Raj Verma. And let's see if I'm able to log in, be able to view the tasks or not. Let me go to this, click on sign out. So after all the hard work that we have gone through, let us see if this is successful or not. Adam dot Henry. This is our business user. I hope I remember the password which I had given. Yes. Yes, here it is. So now under order management, I'm able to see order management, global order promising, and pricing administration. Product management is nothing but item creation. So I'm able to see product information management because I had given him this role. Product data steward role. Now I will go to procurement. If I'm able to see purchase orders or not. Yes, purchase orders, purchase agreements. So now I'm able to see all the ties. Now let me go to receivables. Yes, I'm able to see accounts receivables and billing because I had given him this role. Where is that account receivable manager? Here it is. But I will not be able to see setup and maintenance or security console from this user because I had not given him these 3 rows. So let me confirm it. Let me click over here. See, there is no setup and maintenance here because I had not given him the application implementation consultant role. Now again under tools, I should not be seeing IT security, security console. See, security console is not there only because I had not given him this IT security manager role because he is a business user. Now the data access part, let me quickly check. So just go to order management. So I will be explaining you each and every, like the entire screen for order management. I'm quickly checking for the data access part as well, right? I will be explaining you all the ties over here, all the options you see under tasks. So I'm just checking for the data access perspective, clicking on creating order, just quickly. So here I will show you this one, the security context or the data access, the fifth one in the row. Yeah, you can see business unit, only US one business unit he has access to. None of the other business units. There's no drop down. Suppose if I had given him the data access for one more business unit, then there would be a drop down and you would have been able to select one of the two. Now you cannot select anything, right? Because I had given him the access only for this business unit. So this is where this data access is useful. This is where it comes into the picture. So click on cancel. So now I will log out as my business user. So see, this is a order management page. This is a create order. So I will be showing you the entire cycle in a while. This would be very interesting. This would be the interesting part. But before we can come into this, it was compulsory for me to assign all the rows and data access, because without these, there wouldn't be any order management, right? Now, what do I have to do? I have to log in as an implementation user. So Raj.Verma. This is me. Yes, I'm able to log in. It is loading. Yes, it is loading. Now I'm able to see setup and maintenance. Let me go there. Yes, I'm able to come to setup and maintenance. All the modules are visible. I can configure tasks from here. I can go to offerings and opt in for features. And also I can go to security console tools. Now you can see, right? This person has access to security console. The earlier one didn't have. I think so. One of you had asked me if everyone can access security console or not. So, this is the differentiation. So now he can access security console. He can do all kind of roles and reset password and all those things. So yeah. So with this sheet is complete. Creating a business user, assigning him the role, assigning him all the data access, making him a procurement agent in order for him to be able to create a PO, purchase order. Then I created the implementation user and assigned him the IT administrator roles, these 3 roles. Then yeah, one more thing, the scheduled processes. So let me log in back as the same user. So with this, you are also seeing the logging in and logging out for different users. So that also is useful. So this is also, what I have seen from my experience. This is a place where many people go wrong in creating an implementation user and a business user. In many implementations, as per my experience as well, many consultants create implementation user and then he or she assigns all the rows and data access, and he is not able to create transactions. Then, he gets back and asks, where have I gone wrong? So this is the answer. You have to create a business user in order for you to do any transactions, right? And the implementation user only does the security console work or configuration work, these 3. So this is a very important thing, And then, yeah, these 2 schedule processes. So Oracle says, there's no need for you to run these 2 processes because it is like predefined. But many times we do not see the rows or the data access coming to the user. It takes a lot of time. I mean, those are very rare cases, or it happens once in a while. So in that case, even if you create a business user, you assign him all the roles, you assign him all the data access. And then when you log in as that user, you're not able to see all the modules for which you have assigned him the role. So the reason would be it is not synced. So for that, you need to run these two processes: import user and role application security data and retrieve latest LDAP changes. So let me show you from where you can run the processes. This is my main home screen. Go to this navigator, come down, go to tools. This is the same place where you had security console. Go to this scheduled processes. Click here. Yeah. So here you have all the processes which you run. Either you run it ad hoc or it is scheduled. So click on schedule new process. Click on that. Now, which is the process you need to run? This one. Just copy it and paste it over here. Give a tab and the description should come below. Yeah. Import user and role data from LDAP and store in application security tables. So click on OK. And you don't have to give anything. Just click on submit. Click on OK. Now click on refresh. This is a refresh icon. So this is ready. This is running. So this is running. This should be succeeded. So it might take some time. So in the meantime, let me schedule and run another process as well, which is retrieve latest LDAP changes. Delete the previous one. Press tab. Click on OK. So yeah, what is the description? Synchronizes users, roles, and grants. Let me hover it around. Grants with definitions in LDAP. So yeah, this is basically it syncs all the roles and user access, right? So click on submit. Click on OK. Click on refresh. You will be able to see the two processes that we have ran. So in a while, this will get into a succeeded status. So many organizations schedule these two. They schedule these two, right? So it is now brought. Only after this is successful, this will be running. So this has to be successful. So yeah. With this, we come to the end of roles and data access topic. So this is not necessary for you to run these two. Only when you have this problem wherein you see that you have created a user, you have given him all the role and data access, still you're not able to access many modules. Then you have to run these two. And it is advisable for you to schedule these two as well in your applications. So till now, what we have seen the Oracle Fusion fundamentals, and we have seen the entire roles and data access concept. And then we logged in also as a business user, Adam Henry, and implementation user, Raj Verma. So I will just take a minute pause over here. So any doubts or any queries from anyone?
Raj, it's all fantastic for me. I just want to ask a question. But sometimes I can be an implementation user and still be assigned the employee role so that I can do the two together. I know it's not good for segregation of duties, but let's say I'm just doing something on the system and I don't want to keep bothering the functional team to come and please do something for me that regards to setup. I can have the two together as one person.
You can have, but there will be a problem. The problem will be when you're creating transactions, right? Like purchase order or a sales order. there are many functionalities which you will not be able to go ahead with.
Okay.
Like in sales order, you will not be able to hold it. You will not be able to approve it. So there are few things which will come as blockers. So
Just
this is
because I'm implementer, I'm a business user as well as being implementation user.
correct. So this is why I took a lot of time to explain, that we have to make sure that we create a business user to do any transactions in Oracle Fusion application. And implementation user is only meant for setting up, configuring, and IT security console. So you can assign him the employee role. You can create an implementation user and assign him the employee role. But the way Oracle is built, Oracle Fusion is built, right? You will have problems when you go ahead with your transactions in many places.
Okay.
So I'm telling you from my experience, this has happened a lot many times. And this is why Oracle also recommends, not only recommends, they tell that it is a must for us to have a differentiating factor between these two.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. Any others?
So Raj, can you please repeat, like whenever we have to run the import user and the retrieve latest LDAP changes programs, is it every time I assign a new role, or is it every time I do a data access to the users?
Okay. So, let me reiterate. So these two roles are not compulsory. So you need to run it after you assign him the roles, or you can even run it after you assign him the data access, right? Because without assigning the data access, even though you have a role, you will not be able to do any transactions, right? So it is preferable after you assign him the data access, you run these two processes. Now suppose, you go to your screen. Let me show you what I mean over here. Let me just go to the data access screen. I will clearly tell you the difference. That was a nice question. Order management, user and security, all tasks. Here it is, manage data access. Now I'm just showing you one thing where I'm showing you a scenario of where you need to run. I mean, when you need to run. So suppose this is my user Adam Henry, and I'm not able to find the role in this drop down, right? I assigned him a buyer role, suppose. And now that I assigned him a buyer role from the security console. Now my next step is to come to this task and assign him the data access role, right? But if I'm not able to find the this role over here in the drop down, then there can be two reasons. One, he is created as an implementation user, not as a business user. And second, we need to sync it up. And to sync it up, we need to run these two processes. So this is scenario number one. Now, suppose buyer or inventory manager is coming in the dropdown, and you assign him the data access. But when you log in as Adam Henry and you're not able to see that business unit or inventory organization, then after assigning him the data access, you need to come back and you need to run these two processes. So this is scenario number two. But in our case, we didn't have to run these two because we were able to see all the rows and data access in both the places, right? Isn't it? So this is the answer.
I mean,
was it?
I get it, but like suppose I add a new role from the implementation user to Adam Henry, right? So then I have to run the program from the implementation user itself, since I added a new role, right?
Correct.
And then I have to give the data access only from the implementation user, not from Adam Henry.
Correct.
I don't think Adam Henry has that access, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, correct. So again, as I told you, these two rows are not compulsory. Okay, you assign Adam Henry a role, right? Or a manager.
Yep.
And you come, what is your next step? You will come to data access, right?
Right.
So in data access, if suppose you're not able to see this order manager over here in the drop down, then that tells you that it is not in sync. Then you need to run these two. If it is appearing here, then you don't have to take the pain of running these two processes. For us, we didn't run it, right? We just assigned him all the rows in column number 1, and straight away we went to data access. And we assigned him all the data access from this page. So we didn't have the necessity. But it
Okay, if
depends
I
upon the lag of that Fusion application. It takes time to sync or not.
go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. You were telling something.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand or summarize. So if I see the role in the drop down for the user, then I don't have to run the run LDAP progress and import users, right? Those two
Exactly.
programs are not required.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? So what I will do is, I will prepare one AD/FDI sheet, and I will give you all these rows and security context. So you will have it handy, right? Whatever you're seeing on my screen and whatever rows and data access I assigned, I will embed it in a AD/FDI sheet, and I will send it to you all. Like Tanmay will forward it to you all, so that you will have it handy. So with this, whenever you are practicing, you follow the same sequence. You create one business user, you assign him all the rows, data access, procurement agent. Then you create the implementation user, you assign him the bottom 3 roles, no data access, and then you log in as both the users and you verify if all the access is there or not. So this is a preliminary step for you to practice, right? Then,
So Raj, sorry to stop you. Can we go with a real model, I mean, real world model, so that, I mean, instead of assigning all these roles to a single business user, can we assign these business specific roles to a couple of business users? Because that's what happens in real life, right? I mean, in a factory, or some person will be handling the order, some person will be handling the actual preparation of the making of the product, some person will be doing the packing, some person will be doing the logistics, and some persons will be handling the invoices. So can we go in that particular model instead of doing everything through Adam Henry?
yeah, definitely we can do that. But the reason I've assigned all the rows to this user is to save time, right? Just in case, suppose if I have created a user and if I am only assigning him these 3 rows, so in that manner, I'll have to create 5, 6 users. So that will take a lot of time. So this is the reason, for demo purpose, I have created one business user and I've assigned him all the rows which are needed for order management. But yeah, you're right. In a real-time scenario, user A will be managing only the warehouse operations. So he needs to be assigned warehouse manager and inventory manager. There will be a person who would be managing the shipping, loading into the truck, making sure the the shipment is reached to the customer. Then there will be one more person who would be handling the items. There will be a person who would be entering the orders. There would be a person who would be approving the orders. So, in that context, we will have to create 10, 12 users, right? And then assign him the respective rows. So you can do that in your practice, right? You can, create a user, 5, 6 users by following the same sequence and assign him the particular rows.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the reason, to save time on the training so that we can cover the other things as well, like all these. Yeah, so it is for your practice purpose, right? You can now I think you should be comfortable in creating business user and assigning him the respective rows and data access. So that would be for your practice purpose. But yeah, you're right. In a real-time scenario, one person is not given all the rows. There has to be 10, 12 people.
Okay, Raj.
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
I missed the initial part. I mean, so can you just give me the context, like, I mean, what we're going through this training? I mean, I think it may be a repetition for the other members. but just want to see at a high level what we are going to learn here.
Okay, so from where did you join the training? Like, what was the first thing you heard?
I was in the. I just joined 10 minutes back.
Oh, okay.
I missed the reminder.
Yeah, so in that case, I think Tanmay would have the recordings. This session is getting recorded. So you will be able to stream it, but on a high level, the topics you can see on my screen, right? These two topics.
Yes, Raj. Okay.
Order Fusion fundamentals, how to log in into Fusion, configure the offerings and opt-in features, basic navigation, from where you can configure the task, implementation, project creation. And then in a very comprehensive way, we touched upon creating a business user, implementation user, assigning him all the roles, data access, procurement agent, schedule processes. So this was a comprehensive session we underwent.
Okay. So today we covered the first two topics, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So tomorrow we're starting with the foundation. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, let me also give you an overview of what we will be covering next. So is it clear till now? Any more doubts?
I'm good, thank you.
Anyone
Raj,
else?
are you going to share this spreadsheet?
Yes. So I will be sharing this at the end of the training because I will embed more important topics over here. As you can see, this is not full. There would be many sheets as per the training, and I will be updating them here so that when I share it, you will have the complete information across all tabs.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Any other questions? So were you all comfortable till now?
Yes, Raj.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. Okay. So our next topic is Order Management Foundation. So this is a very interesting topic. So till now, I know this was a little boring, but this is compulsory, right? Without these, there's no next topic. There's no Order Management Foundation. So in the Order Management Foundation, we will be understanding the end-to-end cycle. We will be touching base upon the common terminologies you hear in Fusion. As you can see on my screen, there are 3 types of order. Then you hear a lot of orchestration, fulfillment, global order promising, infolex. You hear these terms very commonly in order management. So I will be touching base upon all these and showing you in Fusion. Then I will be explaining you the entire orchestration cycle. So orchestration cycle is nothing but from the time we begin to capture the order till the fulfillment, till the order is complete. So I will be showing you the entire cycle, end-to-end cycle from the same user, Adam Henry, right? Then I will also be explaining you the other flows, the advanced fulfillment flow. So I will not be showing you, I will be explaining you. And I will be showing you in the forthcoming sessions. So I also have a session of back-to-back, drop ship, return. So these 3 are the advanced fulfillment techniques. So in this training, I will also cover these. So explanation of order management, yeah.
So does it mean that you're just giving a demo on the advanced topics, but not a training?
No, everything, end to end. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will be showing you all the setups, all the prerequisite and the other order management setups, and then only I will be doing the transactions.
Cool.
So all the configurations would be explained. So there would be prerequisite inventory and item setups. So even though these are not part of order management, I will be showing you all these. Then I will be showing you all the order management setups. Then there are advanced setups known as transformation rules, approvals, then picking and shipping. How do you pick few items? Suppose you receive an order from a customer. So you need to pick it up from a warehouse, right? And then you need to ship it. So that also involves a lot of setups. I will be showing you all these. I will be showing you the global order promising setups, the pricing setups, how a price of an item is determined. And then I will be showing you all the transactions as well in corresponding to these setups. So everything will be covered in detail in this training. So for tomorrow, in a nutshell, I will just, what's the time now? Yeah, we are almost reached the end of the time. So obviously, to maintain the momentum, I will be showing you the entire O2C cycle tomorrow. just the demo as of now, so that you have a glimpse of what you're getting into. And I will also explain you the orchestration process and the O2C cycle. So these three would be, and if time permits, I will also show you the entire approval process as well for the order management. So these three would be our goal for tomorrow: order management terminologies, orchestration cycle, and approvals. So basically, in a nutshell, this order management foundation. This would be the third topic for tomorrow, which we will cover.
Okay, Raj. And one request, Raj, I mean, is it possible for you to explain like which is unique to Fusion, but that's not part of R12, if it's possible? Like some
Okay.
process might be similar to both R12 and Fusion, right? But some process might be totally unique to Fusion. If possible, if you can explain, that would be help in understanding the actual business process and also in interviews as well.
Okay, sure. Actually, the order management in Fusion, right, is completely different from what we have in EBS. Yeah, there are a few terminologies and the process is same, right? Like I'm just telling you now only, the drop ship, back-to-back standard order, inventory, the processes are same, right? But the navigation, the orchestration processes, the configurations, the navigation, everything is very different.
Right.
So Oracle has made it very, very different from EBS. Like there is no similarity, but yeah, wherever I find any similarity or wherever there is something which I can relate to, I will touch upon that for sure.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. So any other feedbacks?
Yes, Raj.
Hmm.
You kept saying today's one is boring. But can I say to you, for me, you have given me gold. There are so many things that I've learned today. I've been in Fusion for some time, but there are so many things I have relearned today. So thank you very much. It's not boring. It is, for me, it is awesome.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for the feedback. Your name, please. I was looking at my screen.
Missy. Missy.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot for that feedback.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, some people find it boring, but you know, this without this we cannot move ahead, right? This is a preliminary step for any implementation.
And it is the building blocks. I mean, when people that have not started, when they start, they will know that this is key. I know what I'm talking about. There were certain things I wanted to do 2 weeks ago, and I was told, and nobody was able to explain to me because everybody wants to claim their territory and all that. Now that I have known, I will go back to office on Monday, and I will be a superstar person doing what I've learned today. You know,
great
so
to hear.
I am very grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that feedback. So, you know, as far as possible, my goal for this training would be to teach you all from the very building blocks, even though my training would extend. But, you know, I'm not that kind of a trainer who would do his list of topics and would go away. I'll make sure everything is explained in detail and all of you are able to, you know, carry on all the steps on your own in a sequential fashion without any element of doubt. So that's the intention for this training.
Good. Thank you, Raj.
Hey, Raj, one last question for me. This is probably an extension of my previous question. I was asking, let's say if there are 1,000 business users, do you have to manually do it? By any chance, do you think you have time to show how it's done in an automated way?
Yeah, there is a ADFDI sheet through which we can do it in automated way. So maybe I can show you at a later point of time towards
Yeah,
the
that's
end of the
fine. Like,
training.
you don't have to get deep into that, but at least show how to access it and show it from a 50,000 feet high. That's good enough.
Okay, sure. I'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
And I will, yeah. So all the new points, you know, you will find many other things as well during my training, which you will feel that I will need to explain. So I will take it at the end, right? I will take all these things at the end. There might be more things, you know, which people would find out. Okay, I have noted it down. ADFDI mass updation of roles. Okay, and data access.
Thank you.
Raj, one more thing. I mean, this Excel which you have shown, can you share it actually with us? It will be useful for us actually during practice.
Yeah, sure. I will share it. So I will, yeah, sure. I will share it through Tanmay and it will
Okay.
get to you all.
Also, I appreciate if you can include the navigations also actually into that against each of the tasks.
Okay. Okay, sure. I will do that. Okay, then, Tanmay, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. So if you're ready to conclude, just one final thing to notify everyone that as mentioned before, the session was being recorded, and within a few hours or latest by tomorrow morning India time, this recording link will be available. It will be sent to you via email as well as on WhatsApp. So keep an eye out. Along with the training recording, you will also receive some of the training details like the schedule, complete list of contents, trainer profile, and maybe a couple of other sentry details on email as well as WhatsApp. So if you have any questions, you can just reply to that email or message and we will clarify to you. Any questions before we can conclude?
Yeah, just one quick question. So I got disconnected, so I'm not sure if someone already asked the question. So to be frank, right? So I'm more concerned about the access, the Fusion access. I've seen like these access you get is not so good. It's always slow, and then we have frequent refreshes, right? So can you please let me know about the instance access you'll provide with the training?
Right. So the access that we will provide also, it will be a demo instance. So speed is not much of an issue. Most of the time the speed will be quite good. It will refresh from time to time, as you correctly said. So if you want, I can send over some detailed information to you on the email as well regarding the instance access. So a few details are noted down on the website. I can forward the link to you, and you can just go through that for 100% transparency. Would
Okay.
you mind dropping me your email ID on the Zoom chat so I can have it for the reference?
Yeah, I will definitely do it. 1 second, I'm doing it. While I do that,
Mhm.
so you said it's a demo access, right? Demo instance access. How is it
Correct.
different from the training instance? What
From the
exactly is the demo instance?
the one that Raj was using, that is also a demo instance. The same one, a similar instances will be available to the participants as well.
Okay, okay. And we can do all of the setups in the demo instance.
Yes, right. So we will not restrict any functionality from our side. Whatever has Oracle provided in the standard Fusion Cloud SaaS instance, all of those functionalities you can use.
Okay. And another question, maybe others also want to hear that, right? So some of my friends need just the instance access. Is that available, or do they also have to take the training to get the access?
So it is available. It is more economical to package the training plus the instance. But if you're
Yeah.
strictly interested just in the instance, we can send over that information as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the information. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy to help.
Yeah. Thank you.